Killing Zoe is a 1993 crime film written and directed by Roger Avary, starring Eric Stoltz, John Hughes Anglade, and Julie Delpy.
Is this cat dead?
I don't know. I think he's asleep. It's been there for days. Oh, yeah. I guess it is dead, yeah. Come on.
Welcome back to the Cult of Films. I'm John, the host, and I'm so glad I pronounced John Hughes Anglade on the first try. Also, there's Lindsay.
You fucked up my name.
I said Winsy. That's
Lindsay.
staying in.
Oh my god.
So Winsy Washburn, thanks for coming back.
Dude, that was awesome.
It's gonna be that kind of a night.
It is.
Oh Jesus. Yes, the two of us talking about 1993. You know what? It's weird. 1993. This film both feels older and more recent than that. It just doesn't feel like a 93 film, right?
No, it doesn't.
Come on. Seuss Yeah. Seuss Dr. Seuss
It was ahead of its time with some of the stuff that he was doing. It doesn't have a bunch of things in it that would age poorly.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like technology or political things
guns
or guns or anything like that. It's just a straightforward heist, drug, violent movie.
Yeah,
and those are always in style,
right? Especially in America. That's the only thing that felt off is that it wasn't shot in America.
It was shot in America.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Let's get into that. Let's unpack that in a little bit. But I just want to start this off by saying that this one felt like it also should have been on my radar because I was a huge, I was of the age of being raised by Quentin Tarantino movies, Robert Rodriguez movies, the good ones at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Roger Avary. I've liked what he's written. I like the movies that he's directed, obviously.
My name is not Richard.
Oh, well, then what is it?
Dick.
What?
Dick. You heard me.
But this one was just one of those that sat on the Blockbuster shelf that I walked by a million times and never gave a second to read it because I was too much of a hipster wanting to rent, Reservoir Dogs again or Requiem for a Dream again.
Yeah.
So you actually are like, no, idiot, this is a film that you should probably watch.
Yeah, I stumbled across this film in Blockbuster. And it didn't have a very huge or long theatrical release. The only reason that they released it into 50 theaters is so they could sell it to places like Blockbuster and stuff like that, because they knew that's where they were going to make their money, and they made quite a bit of money through rentals and sales and stuff like that. And I just stumbled upon it. I went to the Blockbuster one Friday or Saturday evening looking through the new releases, and in new releases it wasn't split up into genres. It was just, these are our fucking new releases.
This is just what came out.
Pick one.
Yeah.
And so I'm just
Aladdin was next to Child's Play.
Exactly. Exactly. They're not split up at all. And so I'm going through and I see the cover, and it's the one, it's got the circle thing with the red, and it's just like his face, that cover. I'm like, what is this? But it's called Killing Zoe.
Killing Zoe.
And I'm like, what? I had no idea. I didn't read the back. I just grabbed it. I'm like, oh, is this? I thought it was maybe like a horror movie or something.
Sure.
So I just grabbed it and I took it home and I started watching it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
Ooh, des loches. Comme ça. Des tétons. Comme ça.
No.
Yeah.
Because it was so violent and crazy, and there's all this weird camera work and filters, there's animation, just crazy stuff going on in this movie. So I fell in love with it right away. it popped into my head the other day for some reason, because I'm like, I haven't watched this movie in a while. I really, really need to revisit it because I remember loving it so much. So I'm glad that we got to do it.
Absolutely. And it felt like such a movie of that era too. Like this slotted in perfectly. Like you could have done a double feature with this and Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction. Yeah. And obviously the ties are there. Roger Avary wrote Pulp Fiction with Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino was very involved in this film.
Yes, he was.
And this is, talk about usually when Jason's on here we talk about a debut film.
Yeah,
this is a hell of,
it's a hell of a debut.
Holy shit.
Well, and especially the way that it came about, because they were doing location scouting for Reservoir Dogs, and they came across this bank in LA, which is the bank this is shot in. The only parts that are shot in France is they went there and shot the point of view street scenes of the taxi driver. That's the only thing that was shot.
Really?
Everything else is in LA. Yeah, they did a great job.
That's like a Google plugin nowadays.
Right?
They'll save you the trip.
Exactly. But so they had this bank that they found for Reservoir Dogs, and they're like, this place is awesome, but it wasn't going to work for them. But someone was, I can't remember who, a producer or something, was like, asked Roger Avary if he had any like bank heist scripts, because they wanted to use this location because it was such a cool location. And he said yes, but he didn't have a script. So he wrote it in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Frenzy, so that he could, get a movie made essentially. And this was the result of that.
This feels very rushed. Right? Like in a good and a kind of a bad way, but it does feel slapped together.
Frantic. It's very frantic.
Right. Not very much different from like Ravenous, right? Where how slapdash that was, and it wound up being just a fucker of a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a fucker of a movie. Like,
it is a fucker of a movie.
It's not nice.
It's not. No, it is not nice at all.
C'est un sale con.
And it lulls you into a sense of niceness for a brief second. It doesn't, the mascara isn't on for very long. I mean, because we get introduced to Eric Stoltz. He's kind of our POV character. He is an American going to visit, all we know at the time is just going to visit his buddy that he grew up with half of the time. Half of his life, his friend lived in Paris, and half of his life, his friend lived in
Florida.
In Florida,
I think it was Florida, yeah.
He takes a taxi ride to this hotel room. The taxi driver is a skeevy guy. He's like, "You want any,
You want some company?"
Yeah, that's so gross.
You want a wife for the night?
Yeah. So, and he looks so like Eric Stoltz. Is okay. Here's my thing with Eric Stoltz.
Very tight.
We're going on a couple different rants. Eric Stoltz always, to me, felt interchangeable in every single role with James Spader. However, they're very different people. I just feel like they could do the same role just two different ways. You could either do it the uninterested, kind of dorky, unsure of himself Eric Stoltz way, or the uber charismatic sociopath, like totally confident James Spader kind of way. And it's funny because in 2 Days of the Valley you get to see both of those in real time interact with each other, and it's great.
My partner and I discovered this crime scene this morning. I think that Becky Fox might be in on this.
Really?
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah, but I think Eric Stoltz has a little more likability. When he plays an asshole, you like him a little more.
Yes. Yeah, he's your buddy.
He's like, okay, he's not a complete asshole. He has principles. He's an asshole with principles, essentially.
And James Spader is someone that you hate that you're behind in a Starbucks line because he's gonna make the barista remake the drink 4 fucking times.
Yeah, and make her cry and
make her cry and yeah, exactly.
Quit her job and like go join a burlesque show or something
in France.
In France,
and wind up in a hotel room with Eric Stoltz.
Time's up.
You get the nice guy likability, although it felt like he was on like a downer, like a Valium in the beginning, and then you know, then we get the introduction to Julie Delpy, and it was almost shocking to see him even, and I'm just talking about Eric Stoltz, not even the character of Zed, be like, oh, you think that he's in the taxi and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna get a hooker, I'm a nice guy, and it's like, oh no, he sleeps with her and they talk about water sports, and it's just like, wait, what?
$200 and I can't pee on it, huh?
No.
And this is the nice romantic part.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I like their interaction a lot. I love when she shows up and she comes in and we get that his little reaction to her physical appearance. He's like, yes. She is, Julie Delpy is a very, very attractive, beautiful woman. And
yes,
he may have expecting someone very
different.
Yeah, someone with some miles on them to show up. So to
a career woman. She's a part-timer.
Yes, she's a part-timer. She's a student working her way through art school.
Sure. As you do.
And so I love their little interaction. It's very cute, and it just establishes their relationship. But then the other guy shows up. But before then is a very boots on the ground, low, gritty, kind of gross, sweaty movie, but it does take its breaks sometimes to have these beautiful shots and beautiful scenes, and their love scene is shot really cool. Like it's got some style. You got the Nosferatu on in the background, and it's shot really well. And sometimes even during the craziest of crazy moments, the most violent moments, it takes time out just to set up like him, like Eric Stoltz, like framed perfectly center in this bizarre burnt orange colored hallway. It's just like, holy, this is amazing looking. It is. Yeah, and Roger Avary was very particular with the look of this film. And I love that Eric Stoltz and Julie Delpy are not in the same shot together until after they've had sex.
Right.
That's the first time they're on camera together.
Do you ask all your clients questions about their business?
No. Just the ones I like.
Even though she's been there for a while.
Yeah. And you get a lot of, I mean, if you're gonna have an elongated dialogue scene, especially like a one or without cuts, Julie Delpy is your person, right? Like
she's so natural.
Oh my, exactly. Richard
She's
Linklater
so
figured that out with all the Before series.
Yep.
She's just so good at that shit, at just going off of the other actor. Like she could have chemistry with like a lump of coal.
Exactly.
And Eric Stoltz is a few notches above that.
It's not exactly a lump of coal.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other guy. I mean, we're jumping right into, this isn't going to be like a full-on play-by-play, but this is kind of like the what this is about. But you mentioned another guy. Let's talk about the other guy.
Yes. So like we said before, Eric Stoltz has arrived in France to do a job essentially with his childhood friend who he hasn't seen in like 11 years. And during that time, this friend has changed just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit.
Good. Now we do heroin.
What's a heroin addiction between
friends?
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is he kind of bursts into the hotel room and throws Julie Delpy out in the hallway naked.
Jesus.
Calls
From
her
the shower.
A bitch, and just beating her and shoving her and slapping her. It's just terrible. But I mean, Eric Stoltz isn't doing anything to stop it.
Right. No, he goes, I really liked her. Horrible, 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 horrible.
Horrible.
And then it turns into like train spotting for a good 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, because we meet the crew and they go over the plan for like a minute.
Well, and the plan is, it's revealed that the real reason why Eric Stoltz is in Paris.
Yes, they're gonna rob a bank, the only bank open on Bastille Day, and it's a Federal Reserve Bank, so there's gold in them vaults. That's what they're after. They're not after the cash or the jewels or anything like that. They want this big pallet of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so they figure out like how they're gonna break in. They have to go into this one vault that's connected, and then go through this little connected area, and then open the big giant vault from the inside, because that's the quickest way they're gonna do it. And Eric Stoltz is like, we're doing this tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need more time. And
he's like, I just opened my second beer. I don't think I'm gonna be in game shape tomorrow.
And just to show the lack of like professionalism, I guess, among these thieves anyways, they're like, we're not planning tonight. Everyone else knows what they need to do. You just need to show up tonight. We're gonna get high as fuck.
Fucking Hunter S. Thompson style.
Holy
he was
shit.
blushing during this.
Oh my
shit, right?
God.
And this was a little rough for me, if I'm going to be honest. This was probably the weakest part of the film for me, because this is from an era pre Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where drug depictions in film looked real shitty. He just did the Mirage filter a lot of the time, where it's just like, everyone's just kind of like the camera's doing some weird shit, like they're in the car talking. But that is when we get the biggest foreshadowing, because this movie's really about AIDS.
AIDS.
You know, I have AIDS from the needle. What?
Yes. The Eric, not Eric the actor, Eric.
Not Eric the Stoltz.
No, the other guy, the French guy, tells his friend he has AIDS from the needle. He's a heroin addict. I love the tattoo he's got. It's the with the stinger right where he injects every time.
Yeah.
Just little shit like that makes me really like this movie. But I mean, they're doing more than injecting. They're chasing the dragon where they smoke the heroin, which is insane. And then those orange pills. You never find out what those orange pills are.
Oh, God. Open your mouth. No. Shut up. Open your mouth. You need it.
It's perfect. Yeah, and you don't need to. Like, it was just like, that was the break the glass in case of emergency, like to really take it to the next level. And that's all you needed, because there's that moment. It's like a few minute or maybe an hour time lapse where Eric Stoltz is just in the bathroom, looks over. You don't know what the fuck is going on in that corner. There might be humping. Someone might be making an omelet. You don't know what is happening at all, but it's so effectively shot.
It is.
Oh my God. I love that part.
They used this special lens, which was the first time it was used in any movie, to create those like drug-induced feelings, because he said he didn't want it to just look like, okay, this is what these people look like on drugs. They wanted the audience member to feel like they were on drugs. Yeah. And they do some really cool stuff with that, with the filtering and just some of the camera angles. And then, because they're in this Dixieland club.
I love that. And they're jamming.
Jamming.
I love it.
I didn't know it was so easy to play a trombone. You know?
Crazy fucking Frenchman.
While they're just doing the hardest of drugs at the table with the most wholesome music in the background.
Exactly. And at one point, Eric Stoltz is so high that he's looking at the band and he sees cartoon musical notes.
So good. And like I said, I feel like that, for the most part, is the weakest part of the movie. So as you could probably tell, spoiler to the end, I quite like this film. When you originally saw it, or even now, me seeing it now, I wasn't sure if I wanted a little bit more background, at least in their friendship, because there is so much thrown at you in 5 minutes.
There's a lot.
These guys have been friends. This is why. He's a bank safe cracker.
Yeah.
They've done shit before, but not really explained a lot. He's a heroin addict. He's got AIDS. I was just like, wait. Calm down.
If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
So the pacing is a lot to ask of the audience.
I like that aspect, especially rewatching it now, because you're kind of thrown into everything just like Eric Stoltz is. Because he's finding out a lot of this shit as we are, because it's just all thrown at him, and he's fucking high as shit, and he's in a foreign country, and he hasn't seen this guy in over 10 years, and they're just pumping him full of drugs, and they're saying they're gonna rob this fucking bank tomorrow.
When is Bastille Day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? We're doing this tomorrow?
But of course, yeah.
So it's just that frantic energy, this frantic, chaotic energy that just runs through the whole film.
And every time he's just like, I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, but you must.
Oh, but you must.
Oh, but you must. And okay.
I probably shouldn't,
But you must. Huh?
That's the password. Literally, anytime he didn't want to do anything, all they had to say was, oh, but you must.
I shouldn't do any more.
But you must.
Thank you.
We don't plan tonight we live.
Yeah. British guy too was great, played by Gary Kemp, who I guess is one of the more famous actors, character actor.
Was that the blonde guy?
Yeah.
The blonde buzz cut guy. Yeah, he was really good.
I loved him because he was like a not dumb but like childlike.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like whatever
he was a muscle guy. That was
yeah. And he was excited during the entire time. And when they're, kind of flash forward more towards the end, when Zed kind of turns on him, he has this like hurt look in his eyes. Like, what do you mean? We're just like, we're in a fucking elevator and we were spending our, gold, and now you're hurting me. And it's almost sad.
It is.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
This whole crew are just dumb.
Yes.
They're bad at their jobs.
Yes.
They're sloppy. They're still hyped up on drugs. The one guy's doing drugs right when they get there.
Yeah.
He goes in the bathroom and shoots up a couple times.
They're like rave fuckboys. Like I've kicked so many people out in like Vegas clubs. Like when I worked in Vegas, like these are your quintessential like Night of the Roxbury DBs, but you have to like pull off the greatest bank heist of all time with them.
Yeah.
Of course shit's not gonna work.
Exactly.
The movie really sells it, especially at first, that this is a really about Eric Stoltz and maybe about Julie Delpy and how this this is a romance building. This is from the producer of True Romance, and it shows it has that kind of cadence to it. But once it really unpacks itself as Jean-Hugues Anglade being the star of the show. I mean, he takes
he's so
this
good
over, right? Like,
yes, no, he's playing such a great character with so much style and flash to it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Oliver. What can I do? Boss.
And it's so memorable because his character is what I really remembered from this movie. Just the insanity, the mania, just completely insane.
He's in a different heist than the other people. He sold them a different situation because really he knows his number's up. He chased the dragon too hard, he got bit, right? So he's got AIDS.
You know, I have AIDS from the needle.
What?
This is his crescendo, his life's crescendo. He wants to go out with a bang. He wants a pallet of gold and just to walk out and get gunned down while having it.
Yes.
But he sold this to his buddy as this is a walk in the park. We're just going to grab some stuff and be done with it. And the other guys are just too dumb, right?
Oh, because they get there They burst in, they kill the concierge, who is Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy's played the concierge. He's on screen for like 3 seconds. They just bust in and they shoot him.
Yeah.
That's his cameo in the movie. I didn't realize that till I was kind of looking through IMDb today. I'm like, what the fuck?
Amazing. And that makes so much more sense that this was shot in LA now. I'm like, they flew Ron Jeremy out to Paris?
Paris for this? What? So they get in there and they get all the workers and customers kind of wrangled, and then Eric and Eric go downstairs to see if they can get the safe open. And this whole time, because Eric Stoltz, he just kind of walks in and then they go down to the vaults.
Yeah.
And he's down there through the entire heist until
he's a true professional, right?
He's a true professional. And he has no idea what's going on upstairs. The cops show up, people are getting shot, shit's going down. He has no clue. He's working. He's
the Mr. White of the group.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Harvey Keitel.
Yep. He's like, I'm just here to work, get my stuff done.
And the whole time, like, obviously he's not dumb and he's got awareness because he is where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears shit. He hears guns go off and stuff like that. And he's just like, what the fuck? And the whole time, again, his buddy, Eric, is selling him
it's like, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Nothing. He was just killing them, you know?
Well, did you tell him to shut up?
Huh? Oh, yeah, the assholes just having fun.
However, like, to get in that area, like, he's already killing people. Like, women, you know, like people that are no threats to anybody, and just blowing them away. And Zed is just like, what the fuck? Like,
this isn't what I signed up for, dude.
Right.
And
even after that, he's so charismatic that he's able to smooth it over, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he trusts him for some fucking reason. Then, surprise, surprise, you know, Julie Delpy, she says she has a day job, and her fucking day job is as a clerk at this bank.
Working with Ron Jeremy.
What a coincidence.
We know how she got the job. She did.
So shit just goes awry from that point. Just one of the hostages has a gun on his ankle that he pulls out while the other guy, one of the robbers, is telling just a disgusting joke.
He's monologuing.
He's monologuing. And so that's what really starts things going downhill as far as the success of this robbery.
And I think that actor is Kairu Salem, if I'm remembering correctly. He's American, but is completely, like, almost talks exclusively in French in this movie, which is cool. Yeah,
he's crazy.
He's monologuing his ass off, and he gets blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Then, oh my god, one of my favorite scenes.
The American.
The fucking American. So stupid.
Well, I think movies in the 80s especially kind of lulled Americans into this false sense of security where if you're in trouble in a foreign country, all you have to do is say, I'm an American. Wait, I'm an American.
Wait, let me get out because I'm cool, right?
I'm an American. You can't do this. I'm an American.
Yeah.
Yes, they fucking can, and they will shoot
Blows
you.
him away. Yeah. He's like a MAGA hat before that was a thing.
Yeah,
right?
he's very, very stereotypical, loud, obnoxious American.
Yeah.
Self-important.
Yeah,
I'm better than you because I'm an American. If it wasn't for my country, y'all would be speaking German.
Yeah, and they blow him the fuck away, and it's almost cathartic.
In a little bit.
During watching this film, and I know we haven't like really gotten to the end yet, but like while watching this film, it felt almost like I'm like, okay, I'm watching a Clockwork Orange jiving with Point Break a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It feels like those two films. And I would, and like, if we're kind of skipping around to the end, I would definitely, like, for people that like those films and want something a little bit more gritty and stuff, that like if Tarantino directed Point Break, this might be your shit.
Yeah.
But you know, it's such a bummer because it's so bleak.
It's so bleak.
No one is off the table as far as like who gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And when or where, like, it's unconventional that way. No one
yeah.
comes and saves anyone.
No
like,
one's a
at the
hero.
last second.
No one's a hero in this movie.
Right.
Everyone's awful.
No, it's like I felt myself like kind of angry watching it. Like seriously, like I'm like, why can't anyone fucking do anything? Because like the cops show up obviously because all this stuff's going on. This bank is definitely something that is of much importance because there's so much like loot down there.
Yeah.
But they're just like able to just like walk around and just like kill people at will. And I'm like, fuck. And it just kind of wears on you for a little bit. But then like once it ends and I thought about it, I'm like, God, what an experience.
It is an experience.
Movies don't do this to us anymore.
No. And they intentionally made like all the fighting and shooting and killing sloppy to make it more realistic, because when people get into fights, just random fights, it's not choreographed moves, this and this. It's just like, blah, you just go at each other. And that's how the fights are in this movie. And that's how all the other bloodshed is too. It's like people aren't like aiming and doing these gun things. They're just like spraying here and spraying there. The whole thing is just very chaotic. And that can be hard to focus on the other stuff in the movie because there's so much chaos, and it doesn't subvert expectations.
Right.
It doesn't allow you to have any expectations.
Fair enough. It's what your brain thinks you're gonna see next, and it's wrong, but you're not like, oh, what a funny trick. It's just like, oh, this is fucking brutal. Like I've been conditioned my whole life to know what a movie should feel like, and this always gobsmacks you and be like, no, idiot, like now you're gonna see this poor old lady get shot at point blank range. Here you go. And like you said, it's super sloppy. Like there's, I guess, like one of the most cinematic parts of it is like they break into the vault, right? And then they are going to the next vault, and then they hear like a security guard in there, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna hold this down.
At him.
So they just throw a bomb in there. And it's just like, okay. They go in there and the guy, but I mean, that is fucking full Tom Savini right there.
Oh yes. I was
good.
I didn't realize until this last rewatch. I was like, holy fuck, that was Tom Savini who did that shit. That's awesome.
Makeup was amazing because
it was so good.
Again, the squibs are like, it's not like RoboCop
it's
level,
not Verhoeven squibs.
It's not Verhoeven overdone. No. It's realistic. It's like, oh, you get shot and then you bleed, but by the time you're bleeding, the people are already on the ground. This is like a talking corpse from like straight out of like Return of the Living Dead.
They two-faced him essentially.
Yeah.
But it wasn't CGI.
No. Oh God. And that's such like a great arc for him too, our main character, right? Because he is just like, this is fucking out of control. People are dying that shouldn't be dying, but then he like kind of does the right thing.
It's a mercy killing.
Sure.
And in the original script, he wasn't supposed to shoot him. He wasn't,
oh, really?
He was supposed to not be able to shoot him, but Eric Stoltz was like, no, my character would shoot him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. We're going to let him live. We're going to give him some aloe. He's going to be fine. No. Yeah, he had to die. During that scene, where they blow up that vault, that's where they find this gold, this pallet of gold or whatever. They cut to a British guy, Gary Kemp. He's sitting on the floor, and it does this like full tilt draw of almost like a Dutch angle, and you have those crazy burnt orange walls in the background. You have a stark, ugly linoleum floor with a perfectly crimson blood trail. One of my favorite 10 seconds of cinema. I was like, what is this shot?
No, it's incredible. There's because it just evokes something within you that is inexplainable.
Yeah.
It's just it makes you feel this emotion that's like, what the fuck am I feeling right now? And you can't put words to it. It's just like this uneasiness mixed with a little bit of wonder and magic but also like this vileness as well. It's just hard to pinpoint the exact emotion.
Like an artistic palate cleanser.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like everything's so gross and real, and now let me give you some fantasy. And it's like, oh, okay. I could take a little bit more disgustingness now because you at least let me see something beautiful.
Oh yeah, they do that, and then they also interject little moments of humor into this movie. I mean, it's disgusting humor, but it's great. Like, I can't remember what he throws the bomb in, and then they run out and hide, and Eric Stoltz runs a little further because he's like, you guys are fucking crazy. And when he comes back, they're both on the ground, but they're just playing dead. And
the guy's a kid.
Yeah, I know. They're fucking around during a bank robbery. It's like, got stuff to do. Let's get it together, guys. Let's be serious for a moment. And then another movie that makes me laugh, or another moment that makes me laugh every fucking time. He gets the big vault unlocked from the inside, and he's banging on it for the guy waiting outside to open it. And he's just like in a drug-induced haze at that moment. He's just sitting there staring, and he finally perks up, and he gets up to open it, and he takes his cigarette out and he throws it in that lady's blood, and you hear the
yeah.
Just like, what the fuck? That's one of my favorite moments in the whole movie.
Totally. And
he's just like, ugh.
Yeah. Like it's not a person on the floor.
Exactly. It's like, where am I going to put my cigarette? Oh, there in the pool.
Convenient. Yeah.
Very convenient. Just like, what the fuck?
And even I guess the crescendo, like the emotional anchor of the film is, the inevitable conflict that we're going to get with these two friends.
Yeah.
Where it's revealed. I mean, fucking full spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I probably should have said that at the beginning. However, sorry, go watch Killing Zoe. Yay! The moment where one of the Erics reveals to the other Eric, Zed, he's not his fucking friend. A lot has happened in this 11 years.
Yeah. He's like, you think I haven't seen you in 10 years. You think you know me?
Right.
It's very chilling the way that he says it. Because like, oh, fuck.
It is. And he even says, like, without saying, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I don't care about any of the people I've killed. I don't care about any of my friends. I definitely don't care about you. I'm done. I'm out. This is it for me. So it's it for you.
Yep.
And that's when he starts using the convenience of Julie Delpy's character being there.
Yeah.
Even the comeuppance, though, it's one of my favorite shots, right? Because he is being shot for the audience in the back of the room.
Yes, he is.
Like,
so many bullets, and
Beyonce doesn't shake this hard. It is crazy.
There's an entire French SWAT team, maybe 5 feet from him, and they unload.
Not one shot
on him. No. They're emptying it.
Yeah. And we see every single thing flash zoom to his face, just like,
right. And then poor Eric Stoltz and Julie Delpy are like cowering below him, and his blood is just all over them.
All over them. And the close-up fights are sweet. They're sick. Someone gets thrown down a fucking stairwell. Like, it is dope. Like, the stunts are great. But that's what it is. Like, his death, like the Eric's death, is kind of sums up the tone of the entire film. Of, this is a little bit kooky, but it's also really fucked up.
Yes, and entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many little moments of like Americanisms put in there, like when he's watching Julie Delpy get naked, he's like, I'm Captain America, baby, shit like that.
Yeah.
And then there's also these, I mean, there's the color palette, because we start out very white and then we go blue with all the drug stuff, and then the end is all red.
Fuck, red and orange. Oh
red and orange,
God.
just all red. And one
on
of my
fire, right? Like that's how I took it. That's how I took it. Yeah.
Everything is burning at this point.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots is right when everything goes to shit and the cops call. The cops are there and they call, and Eric, the bad Eric, gets on the phone, and they shoot it through the plexiglass from the front, you know, the bank window.
Yeah.
And there's just blood drips and smears on this piece of plexiglass. And you're seeing him in the back on the phone just completely losing it. And that's kind of where that turn comes, where just everything goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that little visual shift there.
And I might be really going hard at this film. However, it's just like picking out like little moments is just like, I wonder what if Roger Avary meant for this scene or this little moment to be as impactful as it is.
Yeah.
Because it feels very interpretive. What you're seeing is two friends at odds, a drug thing happens and then a bank robbery gone wrong, right? But there's so many little moments in there that you could pick apart that are so metaphorical that you're just like, that you could kind of delve deep into like minutes of this film.
Oh yeah. No, and also the way that it's shot is very claustrophobic at times, especially during the drug scenes. It's a lot of close-ups and odd angles, like especially when they're in the car. There's no establishing shots.
You know what that smells like in there too. You're like, fuck. Smells like a urinal.
Right?
He even says, oh, I stink. I need to take a shower. Oh, people will respect you more if you smell like you fuck.
I stink. Better take another shower.
No.
I smell.
No, in Paris it's good to smell like you've been fucking. To make them respect you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And another shot that pops out in my mind, and it pops out from the original trailer, is the bad Eric when he's walking through the red room and he throws his cigarette and it does that little flash.
Yeah.
The little magic trick he does. It's just like, wait a minute, did that happen? What?
Right.
Is that real? Is he just, because then he starts hearing the voices, and that's when he goes up and starts fucking killing people right and left.
Yeah.
It's just those little weird visual signifiers that shit's about to get crazier.
Well, because every point of the movie that's not told through Eric Stoltz is an unreliable narrator.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because everyone's fucked up. Everyone's on the hardest of hard drugs, drugs that we know about, drugs that only exist in this movie.
Yeah.
So you don't even know if this fucking thing even happened, right?
No,
like
you don't.
They could just be waking up in the flat now, hungover as shit.
Like, what the fuck happened?
This was a dream sequence. This literally could be the Erics waking up being like, I dreamt that I had AIDS.
You know, I have AIDS.
What?
Oh, I dreamt that I fucking was a safe cracker,
right?
You know, like this could just be a fever dream, a drug-induced fever dream.
Yeah, and yeah, there's so much crazy shit in this movie, and you can interpret it so many different ways. And even when Roger Avary was writing it furiously in those 2 weeks, he kind of took a lesson from his buddy Quentin Tarantino. He's like, write a story about you meeting your dream girl and then add violence.
Wow.
That's what true romance is. That's what this is, you know. I mean, it's a good formula, I'd say.
Jesus Christ, is it not? Pulp Fiction,
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yeah. Same. Wow. Oh fuck! Even a more like a more contemporary version of that premise, or like that starting point, would be like Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Think about a night with your dream girl. Go. You know, it's just like, oh my god, so many, that just like opens so much creativity.
It does. It really does.
There's just such a stringent devoid of character nowadays in cinema.
Yeah,
and
especially flawed characters. Like
Yeah.
I love heroes that are bad people,
Mm-hmm.
that are awful, but they're your protagonist.
But
there you go.
People forgot that Pulp Fiction made billions of dollars, and Reservoir Dogs was the start of a wonderful career, and From Dusk Till Dawn was one of the biggest bangers in the cult film genres. It's like, this is a tried and true thing, and it's not even just the 90s, you know, it's not the 90ness of the 90s that made those films work. I think that this kind of could work now. That's why I think things like Euphoria was a nice renaissance, or a nice love letter to this era, where it's okay to show the grime. It's okay to
show the ugly. Show the ugly.
Show the ugly. Show the sweat. Show the bad pores. Like, people can relate to that, right?
Oh yeah.
This film's very relatable. Like, who hasn't been in a tiff with their best friend?
Exactly. Maybe not to these levels. I never sliced my friend's face open and shoved them down a stairwell.
AIDS is a hell of a drug.
I mean, anything can happen. I'm just saying I haven't done it yet.
Not yet.
A lot of people have asked Roger Avary if this movie is like an allegory for him and Quentin Tarantino's relationship.
I see that. I really could. Yeah, I mean, what a fucking career. Like, we haven't talked about Roger Avary too much, but like,
you got Rules of Attraction, right?
Rules of a fucking Traction.
There's the same shot in this movie that there is in Rules of Attraction. Julie Delpy getting punched in the face. It's the same as Seventh Heaven Girl.
Jessica Biel's.
Jessica Biel, yes. Even with the blood on her nose too. It's the
Check
same
that off your
shot.
bingo card, you know? I mean, Roger Avary is the person that directed the most sought after, rare cultist of films in Glitterati too. Like, you have to go to certain, you have to get the text message to uncode the you know, cereal box to find out where this is playing on the back of someone's, you know, projection thing, you know, to go get your tickets to the Glitterati show. So this guy knows how to do this shit. And I know he had some things, like, if you dive into Roger Avary's past, this dude served some time.
I did not know that.
He served some time, not for what you think. It wasn't anything Louis C.K. ilk, but you know, he was away for a while, and that's what I really think kind of like dampered what Roger Avary's career could have been.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, because I think he really had the chops.
Oh yeah. No, he did some really, really great stuff, very creative stuff, and very original stuff. And I mean, he worked in that video store right alongside Quentin Tarantino, watching all the old shit, you know, and experiencing films that way, not just going to the theater and seeing all the big budget blockbuster movies that would be released into theater, going and watching foreign films and grindhouse films and exploitation films. And that gave both of them a very unique perspective, I guess.
Absolutely. And just to kind of like put a bow on it, and I think you just kind of ran through the gamut, but who would you today, in the year of our Lord 2022, recommend Glitterati to? Or
Glitterati?
But also Killing Zoe, I guess.
For Killing Zoe, I would if you're a Tarantino fan and you've never heard of this film, I would highly, highly recommend it. And I mean, anyone who likes more creative ventures and original ventures, violence, sex, drug use, that's in your wheelhouse. You will definitely like this movie. And for all the Eric Stoltz fans.
All the Eric Stoltz fans, which there are many.
There are many.
Here we go. Watch Some Kind of Wonderful and this in the same night.
There's a double feature for you.
The full Eric Stoltz spectrum right there. And then if you're feeling really frisky, watch Mask.
There you go.
No, there's nothing to add. Like you said it perfectly. It is literally just those type of gritty film fans. But if you like a gritty film now, this is why. This was one of the backbones, but this is one of the backbones that was so underappreciated that someone that has hosted a movie podcast for 4+ years. God, that's depressing. Missed, right? Like I missed this one, so people are still missing this one.
Yes.
Don't miss this one.
No. And I've heard a few people tweet about it here and there, and that's usually people that make these kind of movies have tweeted about this movie in the past. But I don't see it anywhere. I don't. Where did you watch it? Did you rent it? Or?
I neither can confirm nor deny where.
Okay, it fell off a truck. It fell off a truck.
Yeah, totally. Well, you sent it to me, don't you remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. I did. I sent you a private copy. But it's not streaming anywhere. I don't think. I watched my VHS. I think there's a DVD, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
No fucking Blu-ray.
No Blu-ray.
And you have some fucked up Blu-rays behind you.
Oh yeah,
this isn't a Blu-ray, right?
No. I had the VHS copy, and that's what I first rented it on too, was VHS.
If that doesn't blow your mind, what else will? Lindsay Washburn has weird ass shit behind her that has no business having a Blu-ray. The person that wrote Pulp Fiction, his directorial debut film, doesn't have a Blu-ray. Let that sink in. What the fuck?
And let me see. I don't think it was streaming anywhere. Because I was like, I hope I can find my VHS copy.
Can confirm.
You can watch it on Vudu for $4 if you have Vudu.
Hashtag what's Voodoo?
Exactly.
Leave that in the comments. Please tell me what Voodoo is for an old man that's angry and excited about this film.
It is on DVD. They released a DVD in 2001, I guess.
I mean, obviously it was on the shelves at Blockbuster, but like you said, I think it had to have been DVD, because I worked at Blockbuster for the one that you mentioned, the red with like through the eye hole. And it just, and I vividly remember walking past it going, oh, that looks like a French film. Because it looks like a City of Lost Children. It kind of looks like Amelie. It's like a.
They give nothing away on the cover.
No, nothing.
They give you nothing.
it both is like nowadays, like through my old man eyes, I'm like, oh God, I would have swooped that up in a second. But my Blockbuster working days, when I was like 16, 17 years old, I'm like, a pass. Like, this looks like a bad version of something that I like.
Yeah.
Woo! This is the time to rectify that, ladies and gentlemen. But God, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for finally making me rent this video. Wronging this right. You don't get a lot of do-overs.
No, you don't.
You don't. Life is finite, and Lindsay Washburn, not Winsy Loshburn, finally gave me the redo on this one. So thank you so much, Lindsay. Once again, killing it on this. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me over at my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Lindsay Washburn, Lindsay with an A. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all those places.
I am Jon the Host. You could find me at Jon the Host. You could also follow this very show at The Cult of Films. Thank you all so much for joining us. Anyone that leaves a comment down below and shares this video on one of the social media conglomerates, I will do a bank heist with you.
Oh